Welcome to the talk show Promising Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement. And this is Sinha A.M. Saeed anchoring this very talk show. Viewers, we shall have talks on the issues going on at this very moment in Bangladesh. And to suit the very purposes, we've invited two guests. One is Professor Dr. Zaglul Haider.
Thank you.
One of the leading political scientists and a very vocal voice in the world of talk shows. How are you, Mr. Haider?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. How are you?
Fine. Well, other being Barrister Wahid Mahamud. He is settled in the United Kingdom, and for the time being, he is visiting Bangladesh. How are you, Mr. Mahamud?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, thanks. How are you, sir?
Fine. Professor Zaglul Haider. For a long time, you had been to Canada. And from there, you raised your voice, and maybe one of the very strongest voices in the world of the Facebook during the crisis time, especially the last 5 to 6 years. Now you are back to Bangladesh, and probably you are going to join your university again. And we know very well that you are also one of the brilliant political scientists in Bangladesh, and you have recorded marks in everywhere. What is your overall focus on the events happening at the very moment in Bangladesh, centering the interim government led by Nobel laureate Professor Dr. Mahamud?
Thank you, honorable host, Dr. Sinam Said. Thank you, my co-participant, Mr. Mahbub, and viewers across the world. First of all, let me congratulate you from my very heart for organizing this path-breaking revolution in Bangladesh, and I pay great tribute to those souls, innocent souls, who sacrificed their lives for the cause of this revolution. Having said this, I just want to let you know that what's going on in Bangladesh is everybody asks this question to me at home and abroad, everywhere. My question is that clearly, my answer is that clearly we see a change, is a changing situation right now. You know, during the last 10 years, we experienced a fascist regime here. Because I was a free citizen of this country. Because of this fascist regime, I had to leave this country. I was a resident of this country, responsible resident of this country, and I had a great job. I was a professor of political science at the University of Rajshahi. But I was dismissed without serving any notice. So I had to leave this country. So the whole thing in my homeland, everything was unseen to me. Everything was unknown to me at that point. So during the last 10 years, I had to move to the Canada, and you know that I always, I was doing in Islamic sense, I was doing NFC. When this ruling janta, when this fascism will be over. This was I was thinking, and thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanks to the people of this country, it happened finally. Now, at least I've returned to Bangladesh. I'm breathing in open air. Right now, I'm confident that I can say whatever I want to. So, after having said this, what I want to let you know that we know that right now we are going through a transitional period. It's a transition. So, transitional period is always challenging. You know that transition is always challenging. So we have to go through this process, and there is no other option. We have to go through this transition. But thing is that people's expectation after this revolution, people expected a lot. They thought that everything will be changed here. People, during the last 10 years, whatever they experienced, they thought that everything will be changed very rapidly, and they're expecting the fruits of the revolution, fruits of the right way. But point is that still, their expectation, I believe, has not fulfilled yet. This is, I don't know whether it is going to be fulfilled or not, because the way our, interim government is running, a lot of people are speculating that this interim government, the nature of the interim government is not interim. It's not interim. The way they're proceeding, they are trying to, they promise to do the reforms in every sector. But at this point, thing is that reforms are continuous process. You cannot finish it. Every day you have to do reform. Every day you have to do reform. So what they are doing, they formed several recommendation committee, reform committee. They are going to make recommendations, and end of the day, what will happen? These recommendations will make no sense if the next elected parliament doesn't endorse it. So what I think, politicians, after all, we have to rely on the politicians. We have to rely on the politicians.
Thank you very much. We have to rely on the politicians. Well, Barrister Wahid, Mahamud, we have to rely on the politicians. What is your reactions?
First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Dr. Sinha Abu Said, Said, and my co-participant, Mr. Chaudhary, prestigious from a prestigious university and the professor of Russia University. And I would like to thank for being here as a participant and within a short period of time. Coming to the question of we have to rely on the politician. Before that, I would like to go back and I think this is the right forum, and I would like to say a few words before going into this point. Number one, first and foremost, that the interim government is formed after a successful mass student uprising. Somebody can call this is a revolution, this is a second independence. I heard this word frequently here and there, that we have been independent and this is the second independence. But there is a lot we can say about the second independence. But I don't want to get into this. But what I want to say, look, while as you told that I'm visiting currently, yes, I'm here for just only for a couple of weeks here. But while before 5th of August, we were in the UK, and all the people from across the globe, particularly those are concerned about Bangladeshi citizens, Bangladeshi associates people were concerned about what's going on before 5th of August. And everybody, the foreigner, I would like to thank and congratulate all the foreigners, especially from the Middle East, from America, from Canada, from the US, from the UK. UK did a very tremendous job. They were out loud. We thoroughly and frequently speak against the regime and tyrannic government led by the Sheikh Hasina. But after that was going on, the expectation is getting dilemma and getting worse and worse for few things. Say, for example, that's the Hasina government laid her foundation, that's stage by stage, like a fourth or fifth layer. Being ahead of the state, she left. That's fine. But her associates is still in Bangladesh, and they are making chaos, anarchy, sabotage again and again. Look, after 5th of August, how many sabotages, how many unwanted situations come from that? Just immediately the Gopalganj and so many things, so rickshaw, BDR, and so on, so on. And yesterday you have seen that the Ison, they want to come into the. What is the purpose of this? The purpose is they do not want to establish this current government. That's the main focus. Now, how we can support the interim government and what is the role of the politician? That's the question you asked me. Right. Politician must understand the current situation, must acknowledge the pulse of the nation. What's going on? I can give you a few examples. So just after 5th of August, I would say, I drastically and very loudly and clearly, I want to say from you, and I want to convey this message all over the country and the political party, especially one political party. I don't want to mention the name of the political party. The people are very proactive. You have seen that the extortion in Bengali Chadabaji and the grabbing, the Awami League rehabilitation project is in place. They are on the ground. They're doing so many unwanted situations. That's the people that don't want it. We do not support it. And everybody raised the question, because of this, did we support the student movement? Did my son kill? No, of course not. Now, what the political parties they should do? The political parties must understand the pulse of the nation, what the general people know, and they must cooperate with the interim government to change the future. If it is not, that just Awami League replaced by with another political party will not get it. That Zaglul Bey correctly pointed out that the people want to taste the fruit of the second independence, but it will remain untouched, unachievable if we do not change the characteristics of the political party. Particularly one political party. I believe that you understand which I'm referring. That's one thing. And the second, yes, of course, the interim government already made a mistake. There's a mistake already started from the very beginning. Maybe for some reason behind that, we don't know. Or we know, we cannot say this. Maybe we know, but we cannot out loudly say this. When there is a government form, it was the necessity of doctrine, the doctrine of the necessity. The time bound the people and the Professor Yunus and the advisors to form this government. The expel or the leave and the resign of the past fascist government, the Hasina, did not follow the constitution. So now the question is coming. We have to follow the constitution. This is the big question. There is no parliament. And if there is no constitution, that where will go? So I want to say that the political party, being a political party, including every political party, so those who attended at the very first meeting with the chief of army staff, they made a mistake. Either they should have formed a revolutionary government or they make a proclamation of the revolution. They made a mistake. If the revolution or proclamation is silent, the constitution is silent, they must follow the proclamation of the revolution.
Thank you.
But
thank you.
unfortunately,
That's a very important point it is. Well, viewers, we're going for a short break. Please keep watching. We are back to the talk show Promising Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement, and we were having talks with Professor Dr. Zaglul Haider and Barrister Wahid Mahamud. Mr. Zaglul Haider, Barrister Mahamud raised a very important question, that is leading question, of course, about the doctrine of necessity. But we know Professor Carl Halson, a sociologist, he says the doctrine of necessity does not work if there is no doctrine of efficacy. How can you coincide the two in Bangladesh perspective?
Well, Dr. Said, thanks once again, and thanks to the our co-participant, Dr. Barrister Mahamud as well too. Thing is that that doctrine of necessity is true that this government was formed according to the doctrine of the necessity, but doctrine of the necessity sometimes is not enough to run the country, to rule the country. You need doctrine of efficacy. So at this point, in order to ensure the doctrine of efficacy, what you have to do, you have to have, at least you have to have a consensus, national consensus on the issues that you're now dealing with. Right now, the issues you're dealing with, do you have the consensus, what you are doing, the reforms, the reform making committee and the recommendations. Do the people have endorsement for all these things, or people are expecting that all these things should be done by the political authority? Actually, if I mention the name of the biggest party in Bangladesh, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, they already declared the 32 points demands, 32 points manifesto. Actually, it's like manifesto. This do you see any difference between the recommendation reform committee, what they're going to do, and what the what BNP gave the 32 points recommendations, 32 points what do you call manifesto? I believe that most of the BNP staffs will overlap with the thing that the interim government is going to do. So I think the interim government should go through this 32 points manifesto, and BNP people they should also promote their manifesto, and they should make it public. If we come to power, we shall do this we shall make these reforms, and that should be endorsed by the parliament. Bypassing the politicians, bypassing the major political party, BNP and Jamaat Islami and other political organizations, if they do something, it will be kind of imposing something which people doesn't want. That will be again that will colonize people. If something people they do not want it, or major stakeholders they don't want it, if you want to impose that one, whether you accept or reject it, I will impose it, that will not work. That will be like colonization. So again, people will fight against this colonialism. So this is another colonialism. So I believe that the political parties, interim government should have very close contact with the politicians, especially major political parties. What you want, and we are going to do this. Let's make a compromise between your manifesto and our intentions, so that we can come to a conclusion. If they don't do this, if they bypass the politicians and they try to do it by themselves, and they think that politicians, what the military government used to do, politicians, they used to consider the politicians like a football. They will kick and they will move. I think those days have gone. Now people are more conscious. People believe that our last resort is politicians. We have to rely on politicians, and politicians will pilot this nation. Ultimately, what we are manufacturing, it will go to the politicians. So whether they will accept it or reject it, that will be decided in the next parliament. That if the parliament doesn't endorse it, then all these noble efforts will go into vain. So once again, I will tell the interim government that doctrine of necessity is not always enough. Because of doctrine of necessity, you form the government, but you need to have doctrine of efficacy, as our honorable host, Professor Dr. Sinam Said said. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Barrister Wahid, very important question, because you raised the issue of ISKCON. It is a very moot point at this very moment, ISKCON. What is your over understanding about ISKCON working in Bangladesh?
Right. Thank you. It is very sensitive and the issue in Bangladesh, and not only in Bangladesh, the ISKCON is working all over the world. I think they're working in, if I do not make any mistake, I think in 32 countries, maybe 32 countries plus or minus, but however, in Bangladesh, they're actively proactive ISKCON. The word actively proactive. We have seen last 15 years the ISKCON. ISKCON, if I say in my word, I should not say like this, but if I'm very loud and clear, I would say this is the terrorist organization. But in this show, I should not say like this again, but my voice is very loud and clear. Why? in the name of preaching the Hinduism, preaching their religion, they are trying to interfere the government activities. My question to you, the leader of the Ison, where you have been last 15 years? Why didn't do any march, any demonstration? You were kept silent. And what did the current government do? Did the current government goes against you? Did the current government make any order, any gazette notification against you? Did the current government stop to preach your activities? Did the current government stop or close down your offices? Did the current government arrest any of the leader of this country? The answer is a big no. So why ISKCON is on the ground now? The only one simple answer. They want to unstable the government. They will come one after another. Why? Because this ISKCON is led by the Indian government and the Indian affiliation. The Indian government do not want to settle this government. They bring one after one issues. You will see, okay? Because the one most important things I want to say, that's the tyrannic Hasina, she is in India now. And I think in one of the last talk show, I said that the Indian foreign ministers and their ministers and MPs, they had a meeting, I think it was on 23rd of September, it was in India. In that meeting, few politicians from Bangladesh and those who are in India, they participated. Few businessmen from Bangladesh, they virtually participated. Few journalists, they participated. And they made, like, if I say resolution, not resolution, but they want to make a few common grounds. That's what they want to do from the current government. What they want to achieve from the current government. The first one, it was the first one. The Indian government want the agreement, the OMI, those already been signed and continuing the project, Indian project in Bangladesh. They want, India want their project to run, to continue without any interruption. The first, they want the Awami League back as soon as possible. They will support the Awami League from all sort of means. They will support. And what do they want further? They want the guarantee from the current government so that the Awami League can continue their politics in Bangladesh. They will support it from India. Not only that, but also they've already, I think, I do not know, because the information is not public yet. The few people will visit from, if I say RAW, or if I say, I should boldly say that the RAW, the officers from the RAW will visit Bangladesh very shortly. They will meet a few professors, a few journalists, and a few NGO officers as well. What is the purpose of this? They want the Awami League free access in Bangladesh. Not only that.
How could you know that they are going to visit very soon?
They said, and the 5 points on that meeting of 23rd, the 23rd of September, the meeting held in India. Now the problem is the Awami League, the government wanted to ban the Awami League politics for a few certain years, and the people of Bangladesh, they want, this is their demand as well, what they have done last 15 years. Not only they demolished the all institution, the legislative body, executive body, judiciary, administration, forget it, but they also damage our finance. They drained $93 billion they drained into the USA. Did you hear anything Begumpara before this government, before 15 years back? No, of course not. In these 15 years, we come across the word from Begumpara. Who created this Begumpara? Who destroyed our finance? Who destroyed our bank? Who destroyed our, trying to destroy the garments industry? Who destroyed our share market? This is the government. And not only that, the India, why the India? I'm talking about the Ison and India because they goes hand in hand. They are working together because they got a very nice place in Bangladesh. They got a paradise here in Bangladesh. They think Indian people, this is maybe they can think this is the paradise. They earn a huge amount of money, whereas we have a huge amount of around 25, more than 25%.
And what the role here we are expecting from the government, if it is paradise for the ISKCON?
That's, we don't want that. They will work, they can preach everywhere, like other countries, so they can preach their religion. We don't mind it, but we would not allow them to interfere our inside politics.
Thank you very much.
We will not allow them.
Thank you very much, Barrister Wahid Mahamud, and thank you very much, Mr. Zaglul Haider. Viewers, we are going for a short break. Please keep watching. Viewers, we are back to the talk show Province Bangladesh, sponsored by Crown Cement, and this is Sinha MSI, then calling the very talk show. We are having talks with Professor Dr. Zaglul Haider and Barrister Wahid Mahamud. Both of them are very vocal from their own standpoint, and really it is praiseworthy for both of them because they are having talks seriously. Well, Mr. Dr. Zaglul Haider, recently we are hearing a new current of thoughts. Very few people from different blocks, including the government, they are talking about SARC. Instead of having good terms with India, what is the importance of beating the drum of SARC?
Thank you, Dr. Said, again. I think this SARC, actually, SARC was formed back in, started to form back in 1977, actually, late President Ziaur Rahman, it was a brainchild of late President Ziaur Rahman of Bangladesh. But SARC was progressing very well, but because of Indo-Pakistan disputes, Indo-Pakistan conflict, SARC could not prosper properly. But the thing is that SARC, the way SARC is structured, actually, one thing is that within SARC, you cannot take any decision without consensus. So at this point, all 7 nations, 8 nations will have to reach a consensus. So India is a vital player in SARC. Pakistan is a vital player. Both of them are nuclear states. So at this point, if India say no, SARC meeting will never happen. If Pakistan say no, it will not happen. Thing is that we have to, if we want to continue SARC, we have to convince both India and Pakistan so that they do not get involved in any conflict and so that they do not disown SARC. Right now, SARC summit was supposed to be held in Pakistan, last one, but India didn't want to participate there. It didn't happen. Similarly, if India want to host it and Pakistan doesn't want it, it will not happen. But
True.
the main problem of SARC is the Kashmir issue, and right now it will be Bangladesh issue as well too. Whether if Bangladesh take the initiative to host the SARC summit or organize the SARC summit, I don't think that India is going to say yes, because at this point India doesn't think that Bangladesh in their good book, very good book, because Bangladesh is trying to move very independently after 5th August. So after the revolution, Bangladesh is trying to establish itself once again as a separate entity outside the orbit of India. So Bangladesh, right now, Bangladesh is totally an independent state. This is not under the orbit of India. It is not a satellite state of India. So I don't think that if Bangladesh take the initiative, India will accept it. India will consider the pros and cons of having the SARC, whether how far they will get benefit from SARC if they keep the SARC running. So they think that if they keep SARC running, then they believe that at this point Bangladesh, they cannot dictate Bangladesh the way they want to do this. I think that right now, once again, they will think that way. Now Bangladesh and Pakistan, they want to go very closer to each other, and all other small countries. If you look at all other small states of SARC region, you'll see that Nepal is not having very good relations with India, Bhutan also not, then Maldives already has gone out of Indian pocket, then who else? Afghanistan is out of India. So now Afghanistan, China is investing there. China is, Afghanistan is getting closer to Pakistan. So at this point, I don't think it is a good. India is going to accept it, and without convincing other states of SARC, without convincing India, it will not be very easy task to organize SARC.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Well, Barrister Wahid Mahamud. And do you think there are so many sub-regional groups within the SARC, like BBIN, Bangladesh, especially from Bangladesh standpoint? Having all these sub-regional groups, Bangladesh is making new effort to give a life to the spirit of SARC. Do you think it is a negative signal to India also, from Bangladesh standpoint?
Right. This is a very good question, to be honest. I love to speak these topics especially. Look, before coming to this point, this question directly, I want to give you some background, little bits about it, the geopolitics. Then you will understand what's going on in Southeast Asia. If we say like this, look, US is the elder brother and India is the younger brother of this area. This just I'm giving an example, okay? And US always play a vital role all over the world, whether they succeed or fail or whatever. They are claim themselves as we are the leader, we rule the world, we manipulate, what we influence, what we convince, what we make our effort everywhere, all over the world, from Asia to Africa, from north to south, east to west, everywhere. Whether they succeed or not, we have seen that in '69 Vietnam, recently we have seen in Afghanistan, that's how the US moved back. But the example I was trying to give you is if we consider US is the elder brother and India is the younger brother. Okay, I'm the elder brother. Okay, can you do this and this? Establish the geopolitics in Southeast Asia. Try to control the small countries, border sharing countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, and this. Okay, they're trying to do, and they successfully, India managed and successfully controlled last decade and over. Now the scenario has been changed. I think that you have seen and watched the news and experienced that how the Indian army had been kicked off from Nepal. Nepal is a small country, and even their GDP, the education rate, GDP and everything below than Bangladesh. But they have been kicked off from Nepal. They have no control in Maldives as well. There's Zaglul Bhai already told about it. The last election, there's a Maizu, I think it's the Dr. Maizu guy. They gave India clear message. You cannot control, you must leave Maldives. And they have to. And they left Maldives everywhere. Similarly, they wanted to control Bangladesh. As claim, I'm younger brother of US or whatever. I'm claiming myself that I'm the big brother. I'm a big head in Southeast Asia. But after August, the uprising movement that led by students and mass people, they gave a clear message. India, enough is enough. You have no space in Bangladesh. Move back. And now they're trying to do, as I told you last time, the Ison and other issues. It will come one after another. Now the point is, some subgroups, the regional groups, will be succeeded, will be successful, or will achieve the target. There is a question. If, because there are, to understand the geopolitics, we have to consider China is a big head in this area. We cannot ignore them. Zaglul Bhai already said that China investing Afghanistan, China investing in Bangladesh, China investing and invested in Pakistan, everywhere China. China is a big brother. I would say China is the mastermind in this area. Without considering the China, they cannot. Now that is small groups, if they come and merge together, the light, I would say the straight answer would be there's a very slim chance to be succeed. But at least they can give the message India, look, please oil your own machine, take care of your country, think about your politics, think about your minority group, think about your national GDP, think about your unemployment rate, think about your politics. Don't bother. Don't come and give us advice that could do this and that. No, we don't want. Enough is enough. Forget it. Just go back. At least they can give this message. And I believe that if there is small, tiny groups, they come together. First and foremost, one important thing is what they want to achieve. This is very important. If they have the common intention, what would be the best common intention in this area, Southeast Asia? The common intention, from my understanding, everyone has the common intention to get out from the grab of the India. Because India did last decades and over last 12, I would say last 20 years, they messed everywhere. They messed everywhere. We don't want them. We're independent country. What the hell you are? What the hell you are? You're talking about our business. You're talking about our religion. You're talking about our politics. What the hell you are? We don't bother you. Go back. Concentrate on your business, your politics. Now the question is, like Nepal, what you can expect from Nepal? It's a tiny country, small country, and politically and economically is not a sound. Maldives, you cannot. Then Bangladesh is a country, they can play a vital role. This is the time I would say Bangladesh can uprise. They can raise their voice, they can raise their head. And therefore other political parties, Indian practice as the politics is, they always try to grab the political parties in Bangladesh. But the government, if the current interim government, they want to come out from India, this is the time. Otherwise, they will not. They already communicated with the BNP people. Sorry to say, they already communicated because they want to manipulate. How they manipulate? How India come to our politics? Look, if we look at in 2014 election, everybody said that they will not participate in election, isn't it? This in 2014 election, Shujata Singh visited Bangladesh, and they compelled, they manipulated, they forced Jatiya Party under the leadership of late Hussain Mohammad Ershad come and participate in the politics. So that's the massacre has been started. That's the mess have been started since 2014 election, and after then 2018, 2040, this all this. So now there's anti-force, Indian anti-force is rising, especially the young people, the educated people. They know in our country, we have almost 25% of unemployment people. Whereas the Indian people are working here and taking revenue, sending money. This weird. This all the people are here. They come in our country. Even if for a small function, they're taking money. Without taxes, they're taking money and they're going back. They influence, they transit, transshipment, everywhere. We don't want that. We want to establish our country. This is our country. This is your country. This is my country. We don't have to allow anyone to control my country. So your questions, if I say in one word, Bangladesh has to play a vital role. They have to make a good relationship.
And thank you very much. Bangladesh has to play a vital role.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Barrister Wahid, and thank you very much, Professor Dr. Zaglul Haider. Viewers, we are about to end this talk show, and before ending this talk show, I have to, as usual, summarize what the two speakers uttered, commented, and visualized about the talks there. Both of them are very much serious about the issues in hand. And they feel strongly that after the August 5th revolution, there should be drastic change in the political firmament of Bangladesh as well as in the field of economics, culture, everything. But one thing is very clear, that the political parties here are of the same mind about what is the future of Bangladesh, when the elections will be declared, date will be declared, how this government is continuing, what should be the formation of the government. Should the government continue without having participation of the political party in the cabinet or not? Or should this government, which is known as the NGO government, continue and reach at the goal? There are so many questions, whom is fear, whom is phobia there. But both of them are of the same mind that there should be a true demonstration of the mind of this government. And if there is any lacking, any hide and seek, that would debacle for the whole country. At the same time, they feel the relations with India should be very specific, pointing the national interest first of all, but at the same time, geopolitics says only emotions will not work, not survive. There must be some sorts of understanding and having reality of geopolitics and geography, because we have our trade with India, more than $14 billion. We are very much dependent on India for so many things, but we have to produce our own products. We have to organize our own things without having note of our own stock and galvanizing the whole thing. We cannot beat a beat drum. We hate India, we don't own India. That is just emotion. Emotion does not work. And it is a time to give thought on what is nationalism, what is nationalist policy, what is Bangladesh, what Bangladesh can do, having all these limitations inside and outside. And if there is any success of SARC, because SARC is the brainchild of the leaders of Bangladesh, and India and Pakistan, from the very beginning of the genesis of SARC, playing role negatively, because there is no provision to talk about the bilateral issues, and that is the first and fundamental limitations of the SARC. But Professor Dr. Yunus, from the very beginning of his journey, says SARC should be revitalized. But talks are talks. But what is the reality? Let us see what he can do and what the initiative he can take, because he has the image. Using his image, is it possible to give a new life to the blood of Bangladesh? We don't know. We are waiting for all the best things from Professor Dr. Yunus. And let us wait and see. And thank you very much. We'll meet you again in the next talk show.